All right, crazy people, a little more on this 52 Studebaker Commander. For those of you who love to watch me struggle, this seat just sits way too low. I don't know, you're pretty much on the floor, so they had it raised up with some tubing, but it was jacked. It's going to be a little further forward, so we're going to weld a 2-inch piece here, and then come way back here and weld a 2-inch piece here. This will get cut off. Everything will get welded and raised up. It'll be up 2 inches. This is kind of a neat seat. Somebody's redone this seat. You can see for the lap belts, they got the little clippy clips. Of course, this car didn't even have belts at all, but we'll probably end up installing some lap belts for it. These are the windows that are so cool, right? These are just the baddest thing on this car. We go up, and then when we come down, it just rolls, pivots back into there. Well, that side over there, I got the glass in, and I found the regulator in this mess. There was more in here, trust me. I got the regulator installed, and I thought, man, something's not right. You see those two holes at the top there of what you would consider the pillar. Well, can't really see it, but there it is right there, kind of a hinge that bolts in there, and it helps this window pivot. And I dug through parts, and I dug through parts. I'm like, that fucking thing's got to be here somewhere. This is the most unique part to this car. It cannot be reproduced without great pain. But I found it. I found it. And it had 2 screws snapped off inside of it. So you know what happens then. We get the torch. And he just, very, very gently, cherry just the screws, get them all cherry, nice and hot. I mean, they've got to be, close to liquid. And then you just start backing them off. You just do one at a time. And, of course, you see the rag. My pliers, my vice grips are starting to get hot. But that's how that's done with these old cars. When you snap shit off, and you're going to snap it off, you get crazy, you start putting a wrench on stuff, you're like, hey, this fucking thing's going to snap. But of course, if if you're tired and it's been a long day and you just wore out, you just mongo that shit and snap, away we go. And there you have it. But if you can stop yourself from doing that, and you have a head on that screw, which, these are all standard screws, machine thread number 8s, I think. Anyway, heat that thing up with a torch before you snap the head off. This was probably in the car when the heads got snapped off. It almost looked like they were ground off. I don't know. Just to get it disassembled. Now I would imagine that the guy that was working on this car, this probably was the game plan, because he was doing it right. He's got all these fucking baggies. Everything's not everything, but most of it's all labeled. Undercarriage hasn't started yet. I think I'm gonna go with a one-piece drive shaft and just ditch the whole carrier bearing idea. It measures out okay. It should stretch just fine. But I just dropped the exhaust altogether because it was just dragging the ground. It was too much. Let's see if it'll start. Yeah, sounds real good. I don't have a tack. We need a tack. I don't know where we're gonna put it. I found the mirror today, so maybe that'll be a project too. Put the mirror on so you got at least some sort of coolage going on in this car. But it does sound good for, it's a Chevy. Horns don't work. The electrical still needs to be done. And then there's our heater core. That's your heater core on a Studebaker. It's not in the dash. It's on the floor. I think that's going to come out so I can bend that, have my guy Dwayne turn that neck to where it points that way, and then run all the hoses out that way. But it does run, drive, and move now that we fixed the transmission. So, yeah, just a little bit of time. And that door shuts. This one does. The hinge on the other side's hammered ass. This one kind of is too. I need to tighten them up. And of course, you got to get back into the belly of the beast here. To get, if you need to put clamps on that or something, you might have to fabricate them. We'll see what happens. And I got the hood latch in now too. And the cool thing about it is that, oh, if you can see it, where is he? Right there. So you see that? That's the overdrive lever. It's these overdrives 3-speed. Well, this didn't have 3-speed. So I don't know. That's got to be it had to be a lever for something. But it was on a bracket, so maybe that was for a vent or something. Somebody put a PTO cable on there. But that's my cable for the hood latch. So I got the hood latching. The hood latches and the hood opens. Let's see if it does. Yep, there. You can't even hear it. It's just so silent. Really nice. Turning out good. Of course, I had to find, there's a whole piece here. Let's see if I can get this up. That whole piece there, that whole dome on the front, I had to pull it out of the back of the car. But it's painted and it's all nice and pretty. Had to make an adjustment to the cable. I probably still need to clamp it back in here. And then I had to tweak all that. Probably needs a shot of paint, you know. But that's going to be like one of the last things. Okay, well now it doesn't want to shut. Anyway, yeah, it's coming along one step at a time. The plan is, step one, get these windows rolling so the back window will get rolled up and front windows can roll up and we can park it outside. Of course, as you can see, we're missing some weather stripping here. There's weather stripping in the car by the ton. I just don't know if it'll fit or not. I don't know, but, you know, one step at a time. Thanks for joining, hanging out with me, and watching me suffer. But not today. It was a successful day. It's just a little bit at a time, you know, an hour here, an hour there. But you can do a lot in an hour if you got some resources, a torch and a couple pairs of vice grips. Anyway, have a great week and keep tuned in. We'll get a little more done on this thing. Have a good one.